BayStateRunning.com, powered by Marathon Sports. Coach H.
Coach Shep, we got our Friday night meet Division II boys. We've already
Friday Night Lights.
Yeah, we've
D2 boys.
already gone through the girls, and it's the boys' turn. How about that 55 dash?
Tanner Pride. Marcus Quall setting the tone.
Yeah, I mean, he was the runner-up last year with a 6.48. Just got edged out by Jujuri Amato from Greater New Bedford.
However, there's people who will be chasing. Tristan Howard, out of the Northeast, the kid out of Medford. He's coming.
Yeah, I mean, he finished third last year, so he's no secret. But it's Marcus Quall's. It's his race. He has a time that matches the meet record by PJ Hayes from all the way down in 2012. So if he can have some good races, it's Marcus Quall's, then everybody else is chasing him, in my eyes.
As we move up to the 3,
What do you got?
Qualls again.
Yeah, I mean, Woburn, I don't know if they have quite enough firepower, but they're always in the team mix, so you'll be watching them. Qualls is there with that 35.85. Right behind him is Matthew Madamba from Algonquin with the 35.98.
And I gotta tip my hat to LS, Joseph Rizzo, and help me say this so we don't butcher, Andre out of Woburn Tanner boys,
Klimkowicz,
will be in the mix.
he's running the 600,
He is gonna run the 6?
so he will not be in the mix.
Okay.
But the top returner is Trevor Nassar from North Andover. So he'll be there, and he's not too far off that top time, so look for him to challenge some of these other guys.
Tristan Howard and Qualls.
Qualls will have a couple 55s on his legs, so watch out for Nazar from North Andover, the top returner. All right, so no more Calvin Perkins in the 6, so it's someone else's turn to take over.
You know,
This is interesting. It's
interesting.
There's nobody that's running a 121 or 122. There's nobody that's that far ahead of the field. The first guy to 122 will win this race. Your top returner is Brendan LaForest from Westfield. And second, Roger Buckley, kind of new to the scene with that 123.87. Matthew Chico from North Andover. He ran well at the MBC. And then Joe Mason and Alec Laurent both ran their top times, 123 and 124 respectively, at their championships. So it's going to be interesting. This is kind of one of those meets where the second fastest heat is just as important as the seed heat. They're going to try and go drop a time and see if they can put themselves not only placing, but maybe drop a time that's fast enough to win. And the seed heat's going to have to go chase it. What are your thoughts?
I mean,
I think it's anybody's for the win. If I had to go with anyone, I'd lean towards Brendan LaForest because he's the top returner. But it's anybody's for the win, and it could come out of the unseeded.
Where does Roger Buckley factor into this? Helping Arlington, if they're going to run that 4x8, is he on that team? Does Natick and Mansfield?
Yes and yes. He's running the 6 and he's running the 4x8. There's no. It's black and white.
It's black and white. It is what it is.
1,000. You had a battle between last year with Robert Russa, Kevin Crawford, Mike Maggs. Right at the finish, it was anybody's race, and
great race last year.
We had 10 guys sub 240. Can this year's 1,000 live up to that? I don't know about 10 guys sub 240. That was pretty impressive. But top seed time is Mike Griffin, who ran a 231 at the Hawk Champs.
Mikey,
he's the top seed time by 4 seconds, so you would imagine he'd run that, but he's also entered in the mile. Jackson O'Toole from Wellesley's been racing well. Donovan Crow has chosen to run the 1,000 over the 6 because he was taken out. Another Arlington boy, Jeff Candle, he'll run the 1,000. He'll run the 4x8. Anshel Isles, you know, there's a bunch of guys that could factor into this one, but if Griffin's running the 1,000, I think he sets the pace.
And he wins. If no Mike, shout out to KP, if he runs the mile, Jackson O'Toole for the dub.
Yeah, I mean, you would think he's going to be in this 1,000. How about the boys mile?
Boys mile.
So interesting. You don't have Osting in there, the returning champion. You might not have Griffin in there, who was the next best guy from last year. James Ensley has been nowhere to be seen this season. So it was a really deep mile last year. Carlo, obviously Jason Norris with that number 1 seed with the 4:22. That's only the 3rd best in T2. The other guys have opted to run the mile. Kleiman, Ethenthal, both CC boys, Concarlo boys, both at 4:24. Does Griffin run it? Watch out for Gabe Medina. Gabe Medina has a 2:33,000, so he opted to run the mile. Jack Carter, he won the his league with 4:26.
You know, so interesting to look at this. Obviously, tip I had off to the boys from CC, Concord Carlisle, amazing program. Dual County looks strong in this. We could see a rematch of the Dual County Championship. Jack Carter has a shot. Shout out to Jack. But yes, I do like Gabe Medina and the man-child out of Wellesley, Jason Norris.
Yeah.
How does Jason run with Zach?
I just don't think this is an event that you can pick. If Griffin's in there, he has the top overall lifetime best. It would be Griffin in my eyes if he's in this race. If he's not in this race, it could be CC Boy, it could be Norris, it could be Gabe Medina. Like there's a lot of guys that could factor in that. So I'm not going to try and play the guessing game. Let's move on to the 2 mile, where the big dog is in there, Ryan Osting.
This guy?
Which this guy?
That guy.
This guy right here. And I'm surprised he's in the 2 mile. I thought he would go mile at states and all states, and
Yeah,
get
full
after
way.
the 2 mile of the 5K at nationals. But he's going to go 2 mile. You got the top 4 guys from last year return. Osting, John Mariano from Zavarian, Colby Zarl from Wellesley, Matthew Kleiman from Concord Carlisle. Medina was in there last year. Anshel Isles was in there last year. But it does look like Mariano, and unless Mariano hasn't entered yet, which is certainly possible. Did we see him in the mile? So it looks like Zavarian just hasn't entered.
I thought Zavarian was in D1.
They're in D2 now.
They're in D2. They didn't
Yeah.
catch it.
So it looks like Zavarian just hasn't entered yet. They have exactly an hour to enter in the meet. So we'll see him in one of those. It's Osting for the win.
Colby Zarl.
It's Osting for the win.
And Colby Zarl.
Colby will be right in there.
Colby-
I think Colby will take second. He'll do just enough to get second.
Get in front of the
And
CC
Save
boys.
some legs for the 4x8. Osting's going to be trying to save some legs for the 4x8.
But you know what? I'm going to give a kid from the ACL some shout outs. He's worked real hard. He's right there, and I think this is the right race for him. How he executes. When tip my hat to Nicholas Valiente. Go Rams. Nick's seated 5th right now. What's the difference between the 9:39 out of Christopher Ratcliffe and Nicky V? Nicky V hangs on.
Yeah, I mean-
runs a phenomenal race.
Everything is depending on how Osting goes. Does Osting sit in the pack like he has in the past, or does he just go stringing out early? And then Zarl, Chafin, and Radcliffe and Valiente, if they go, and you could see 2 separate races here where it splits off with a top 5, it could be top 6 if Mariano's in the 2 mile, and that could break up. So it's Osting, and then you could see a few other guys trying to go after that 9:30 barrier. How about the hurdles?
You know what?
This is going to be.
I like the kid out of Central Catholic because he ran that now. He's running it now.
Mhm.
He's peaking at the right time. And the kid from Somerville, amazing talent, and Jackson Anderson.
Yeah,
and,
771.
but Central Catholic, they're working together. They're teammates. Central Catholic could have a huge day. They have 6 boys.
Yeah, so the top returner is Dimitri Morris from Central Catholic. This is another event that you have 10 guys, 8 flat or below, and it's
Fast.
Yeah, so it's going to be like that D1 hurdles sneakily, even with all the firepower with the distance events in D2. That hurdle race could be legit. Moving on to the 4x2, Wellesley has that 130 from the state coaches meet. North Andover's right there with a 134. Mansfield always has a 4x2. and a
Woburn is
4x4.
always there.
Woburn always has one, so that's going to be a tight one. It's Wellesley's to lose. North Andover, we'll see if they can give them a run for their money. 4x4. It's a weak 4x4 compared to years past. You only have 2 teams right now that are
Sub 330.
sub 330, unless we're just looking at live entries. We don't have the final. Teams
Performance
still have
list,
another
yeah.
hour to enter, but right now that's what it looks like. North Andover, Woburn going to be battling. I mean, if you got Marcus Qualls on an anchor leg, it's going to be tough. I'm sure Trevor from Nassar from North Andover,
He's gonna do his best.
He'll be on that anchor as well. Mansfield, you can never count them out. It's to
Go
the
Hornets.
So 4x4 to me, if Woburn does have Qualls on that anchor leg and they're there with the baton, we're going to have a nice little battle between North Andover and Woburn at the end.
This is probably might be my favorite race of the day.
I mean, I love my 4x8s.
You love our 4x8s.
4x8, Wellesley dropped that 7:59. Important to note, they ran that 7:59 after already running their individual events. So this isn't like they ran that at the
Fresh
beginning,
legs,
fresh
no.
legs. This was after already racing and racing well in their individual events. Arlington ran that 8 flat at the relay meets. Granted, it was fresh, but that's going to be quite the battle. North Andover has a sneaky 8:06 in there. They're going to be looking for team points.
Concord Carlisle
being
will
that
be
team
there.
height. Concord Carlisle has a slew of boys.
Woburn ran 8:10 yesterday
8:10
by
yesterday.
themselves.
We'll see how they balance the 4x4 and the 4x8. Lincoln Sudbury, do we see the return of Ensley on that leadoff leg? We'll see. They ran that 8:13 at D2 relays without him.
No, LS
And
amazing
Holyoke,
program.
give Holyoke some love. They'll have Donovan Crow on that anchor leg, and they're a really good team.
Let's talk about it. It's between two teams.
Mhm. It's
huge.
Wellesley's going to be running for their lives and trying to get a lead before
So now,
Osteen gets
does
on.
Arlington boys, Wellesley boys are ready. They're ready for the action. Can the Arlington boys double and double effectively?
Yeah, well,
We know what the Wellesley boys can do. Everyone knows what Ryan can do. What about the other three?
yeah. Only time will tell. Let's move on to the high jump. Right now, your top guy is Thomas Alardi from Reading. He's got a 6'6". Nobody else has that. 6'5", looking for team points. Terrell Jones from Woburn. Andy Robbie from North Andover. North Andover always has a high jumper. Can't remember a year when they didn't. Give some love to Algonquin. Alex Lemieux with that 6'2". And then you got the rest of the field all at 6 feet.
Reading.
5'10". It looks like 5'8" will get into the. Actually, it looks like 5'6" will sneak into the meet right now because they're going to take the top 24, which that's interesting. Where do you keep the opening height? Where's the opening height end up with that? Long jump. A lot of guys. You get Derek Chalmers from Wellesley all the way up to 22.6 at the coach's invite, and then you got a bunch of guys in those 21s. Evan Zodoro from Fitchburg, 21.11. Brady Sorensen from Plymouth North, 21.6 and a quarter. Tyler Glennon from North Andover, looking for those team points, 21.4. Lincoln Sudbury has Andrew Safarian in there with a 21. Then, a bunch of other guys in the high 20s and low 21s. Looks like it's Derek Chalmers. Can Wellesley sneak into the team hunt? Is that what we're kind of seeing here with?
Does North Andover sneak into the
I
team?
already. They don't. Time out. You can't sneak into it's North Andover. They're in the team hunt.
They're in the team hunt.
Central Catholic's in the team hunt. Woburn's in the team hunt. You never can count out Mansfield in a team hunt. And that
Never.
brings us right to the shot put where they have a potential Mansfield will get 10 points with Colby Eisen with that 52.5 that he threw the other day at Hawk Champs. North Andover, Bo Bernardo with a 51.10. Terrell Jacobs Basson from King Phillips with 49.3. So those were Central Catholic always has some throwers. They have Anthony Caginelli
Yeah, I think
at
North.
45.11. So it's Colby Asins to lose. We'll see if Bo Bernardo from North Andover can try and steal those 10 points and add to their team hunt.
From what I'm seeing, and this is what we're just looking at is just
Live.
live entries. It hasn't closed.
Things can change. Like this variant hasn't entered their 2-miler yet, or miler in Mariano. So some things can change. D2 meet, as always, going to be a barn burner. Friday
Absolutely.
night.
Friday Night Lights.
That's our D2 boys preview.
Good luck, everyone.